Hello everyone. How are you all, my dear children? Hope everyone are fine. Today we are going to learn an interesting and important topic which you really love it, and the entire session is related to the diagrams. So obviously all the students really they like to draw the pictures and images. Am I right? Yes. So look at this slide. I will start my class with your birthday gifts. So generally whenever we get the gifts, all the gifts will be packed in different types of boxes where you can see in the slide. And nowadays it became very popular. We are getting our birthday gifts in the form of a cups. Am I right? Right. Next slide, if you see, apart from the gift, sometimes our friends will give us the greeting cards also. So what is the difference between these birthday gifts and greeting cards? If you see, these gifts are in the form of the objects, and greeting cards are like the papers. It contains the flat surfaces. Now you see the next slide. Both the children are tracing the objects, ball and the box. So what I mean to say is, whenever we trace any object on a piece of paper, we are going to get the shape. So let me show you. For example, if I am taking this duster, what I am having in my hand, I am tracing this duster on the board. You can see here, I am tracing this duster on the board. So when I trace this duster on the board, I got a small rectangular shape. I got a very small rectangular shape. It means that whenever this is an object, but when I trace this object on the board, I got a small piece of rectangle shape. It means any object when we trace on a piece of paper, that shape belongs to 2D shape. Then D stands for what here? D stands for dimension. Any 2D shapes, it contains two dimensions, that is x-axis and y-axis. So all these objects are considered to be as three-dimensional objects which contains three dimensions, length, breadth and height. That we are going to discuss in the next slide. So whenever we are tracing any object, which what type of shapes we are getting, 2D or 3D, it is a two-dimensional shape. Now see the next. We are having few two-dimensional shapes. If you look at the slide, the first one is a circle. It means it is a simple closed figure which is bounded by a curved line. Next figure, if you see, it is a square. A polygon bounded by four line segments is called as a square. Here I am using the word polygon. What do you mean by polygon here? Any figure, children, when it is bounded by using only line segments. If you see the first figure circle and second figure square, circle is bounded by using the curved line, whereas square is bounded by using the line segments. So all the figures which are bounded by using line segments, they are called as polygons. So square is a polygon bounded by four line segments. So this is an example of 2D shape. Next one, when you see triangle, how many line segments you can see for the triangle? 3 line segments you can see for the triangle. And next one, rectangle, rhombus. When you see for rectangle and rhombus, here also we are having the polygon which is bounded by 4 line segments. Now once you see the next row, I have given octagon, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, nonagon, like this. What is the history behind it? Each and every figure I am giving separate name. So on what basis these names are given, once we will see on the board. Suppose for example, if I am taking a polygon having 3 line segments, the figure which we are going to get is a triangle. And a polygon which is made up of 4 line segments, the figure which we are going to get is a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. And in the before slide we saw the 2D shapes like square, rectangle, rhombus. Apart from these three, we are also having a parallelogram and a trapezium and a kite. It means that all these shapes belongs to two-dimensional shapes and they belongs to family of quadrilateral. Suppose if it contains 5 sides, children, then what is the name of the polygon? 5 sides mean the figure looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this is called as pentagon. Similarly, when we are having a polygon having 6 sides, it is called as a hexagon. 7 sides, septagon. It means Depending upon number of line segments we are using for the polygon, the name is given to that particular two-dimensional shapes. And if you see the next one, parts of 2D shapes. Any two-dimensional shape we are taking, it contains some parts. So, for example, if you see the first image, the blue color shaded part, I took a square here. The blue color shaded part is called as face of that polygon. And here I given corner. Corner indicates the 4 vertices of the square. Square contains 4 corners. Am I right here? From the picture clearly you can see. It contains 4 corners and each corner is the vertex of the square. It contains total 4 vertices and it also contains 4 angles. Now what is the next one? Next word which we are missing here? Straight line. How many straight lines it contains? 4 straight lines it contains. It means that these 4 straight lines we call them as edges. So any polygon if you take, they contain face. Only one face they contain. They contain the vertices, they are nothing but corners. They also contains the edges, they are called as straight lines. Now see the next picture, the circle. What is the difference between the first image and the second image? Second image we call it as a circular face. But whereas in the first image we should call it as a flat face. Why? Because for the polygons we have to use flat, the word flat face. But any figure which is formed by the curved line, we have to say that circular face. And it doesn't contain any vertices. It contains only one circular side, that is curved side, curved edge we will say. Suppose when I draw a circle on the board, this is called the circumference, where I am rotating my marker. This is called a circumference. That circumference is called as curved edge. So these are the parts of the 2D shape. Not only those figures, if you take any picture. Come on children, now let me imagine what is this first picture denotes for. How many sides it contains? First you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I already said if a polygon is having 5 sides, we call it as pentagon. Just now we discussed if it have 5 sides, it is called as a pentagon. So whether you take pentagon, hexagon, septagon, decagon, dodecagon, how many sides we are taking, it contains only one face children, but vertices depends upon the number of sides what we take. Similarly for the triangles, it contains only one face, 3 vertices, 3 edges. So I hope you got picture about two-dimensional shapes and parts of two-dimensional shapes. Now let us move to the next concept. Right. So all of you observe the beautiful images what I am showing to you, where every day which we play the Ludo game, this is example for the dice, and Rubik cube, sugar cubes, ice cubes, cubical box, that is packing box, cubical blocks, and a gift pack, mixed up all the images. Children, now I used so many words here, but in all the words a common word I am using. Did you notice the common word what I am using here? Yes, that is, I am using the common word as cube. Did you notice? Sugar cube, ice cube, cubical blocks, cubical box. Every word is having either suffix or prefix. I am using the word cube. It means these are the three-dimensional objects which are the examples for cube. Now see the next image. What is the difference between the before slide and the next slide? Take a second of time and think about it. If you see children, all the sides of the cube are in the shape of a square. All 6 faces, it contains congruent squares. Whereas if you see for the cuboid, what are the real life examples I took for the cuboid? Just you notice all the pictures once. I took a book, I took a matchbox, I took a brick, I took a packing box, geometry box, a chocolate. If you observe, all the surfaces of these cuboids are in which shape? They are in rectangular shape. So what did you notice here? All the two-dimensional shapes will be observed for the objects of three-dimensional pictures. So whether cube or cuboid both belongs to three-dimensional objects. But the difference between cube and cuboid is cube has square faces, cuboid has rectangular faces. Now see the next one, parts of cube and cuboid. both cube and cuboid will have almost the same number of vertices, same number of faces, same number of edges. But the difference here is, if you see the first image, the top portion of the cube, we call it as a square plane surface. Whether for the cuboid, we use it as a rectangular plane surface. Now see the first image, children. So these parts I will explain for you on the board so that you will understand clearly. Now all of you look at the board. I already drawn the picture of a cube and cuboid. If you see here, whether if you take cube or cuboid, both contains faces, vertices, edges equally. Here F stands for number of faces, V stands for number of vertices, E stands for number of edges. And if you take the cube, this box is exactly looking like a cuboid. Am I right? So, if you see the box, if you see this box, clearly we can understand that it is containing 6 faces. Similarly, if you see this cube, top is 1, from bottom is 1, all the 4 sides. 4 sides means lateral sides. If you take 4 lateral sides, top one side, from bottom one side. So total how many sides we are having? How many faces we are having here? 6 faces we are having. So vertices, directly you count the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. And next one, if you take the edges, from the picture you see the edges, children. Here you will understand clearly. If you see the edges, all the edges first you count from the top. How many edges you can see here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Bottom also 1, 2, 3, 4. Total 8. At the sides you can see the edge 1, 2, 3, 4. It means top 4, sides 4, bottom also 4. It means total how many edges? Total 12 edges. Similarly, cuboid also contains 6 faces, 8 vertices and 12 edges. So, number of faces, vertices, edges are equal for both cube as well as for cuboid. Now, see the next image. Here, in this picture, I am taking a biscuit tin, a battery, a wooden log, fevistick, a tape, drum, candle, paper roll, pen stand, dustbin and a cup. Now, immediately you will get into your mind what type of picture it is reflecting. So, all these objects are in the shape of cylinder. So, these are the objects where we use in our regular life and these are the examples for cylindrical shapes. Now, next image you see better. Now, if you see the next image, generally every time we use the word, I want to eat a cone ice cream. Whenever we are specifying the ice cream, sometimes we will mention cone ice cream. What it indicates? That ice cream which contains the conical shape at the bottom. And we will see conical shape of a birthday cap, Christmas tree, caution stand, conical mic, conical filler, conical type of fruits. And if you see all the ends of the pencils, it looks like a conical shape. It means before objects where I shown you, they contains both the top and base in the form of a cylinder. Both the top and base faces are in the form of a circle and these objects are the examples for cylinder. Whereas, if you take the next example, it contains one face in the form of a circle and these objects are the examples for conical shapes. So, cylinder and cone almost relate to the same, but there is a slight difference in the parts of cylinder and cone. So, let me explain for you what are the parts of cylinders and cone. Now, all of you look at the image. If you see the cylindrical image, here I mentioned top. Top is in the shape of what? Circle. So, circular plane surface. So, top and bottom both are in the shape of a circle. So, both the bases we call them as circular plane surfaces. Now, you can see here curved surface. Curved surface indicates that this portion. So, I want to show you with the help of a marker. If you see this marker, whenever we are using this marker, the top portion and bottom portion indicates the circular plane surfaces. This portion indicates the curved surface. So, these are the parts of the cylinder. Now, what is the next part? Edge I am using. Curved edge. So, how many curved edges it contains? Here is one. down bottom is 1. So total 2 curved edges it contains. So 3 faces, 2 curved edges. What about vertices? Are vertices are appearing in the image? No, it means that cylinder doesn't contain any vertices. Similarly, if you take the cone, cone contains one vertex, one circular plane surface, and here circular edge. The middle portion we call it as curved surface. So these are the parts of cylinders and cones. So cone contain only one vertex, but cylinder does not contain any vertices. It contains 2 curved edges and 3 faces. Now let me move to the next concept. Until now we completed about the parts of cube, parts of cuboid, next cone and cylinder. Now next concept is about, now think what the image relates to. Here I am using all types of balls, and I took some marbles, I took a globe, I took a fruit. What is the common phenomenon from all these images? For this, let me ask you a question. If I ask you, these balls are in which shape? Will you answer they are in circular shape or they are in spherical shape? Exactly. Whenever we use the word circular shape, we say that they are in spherical shape. Generally, globe we'll call globe is in spherical shape. So, all these objects are come under spherical images. So, these are the examples for sphere. Now, see the next image. What did I do in the next image? If you see the first picture, I took a cone. But that cone I converted into 3 stages. Now observe the difference what I did here. This cone I am dividing into 2 parts where the top is parallel to the base. This cone sliced by a plane parallel to the base here. I cut the cone here according to the dotted lines. Now in the second picture you can see the cone is divided into 2 parts. One is top, one is at the bottom. So the removed portion from the cone at the topmost, this is called as frustum of the cone. This concept is there in the grade 9th and 10th children. So frustum of a cone is portion of a cone which is removed from it at the topmost area, and the base and the top is parallel. So if you see frustum of a cone in our regular real life, where do we use this frustum? A good example is the tea glasses where we drink the tea, and the buckets which we use, they are in the shape of frustum. So what are the parts of sphere and frustum? If you see the sphere, it contains no vertices, no edges. But how many faces a sphere contains? It contains only one face, that is curved surface. Now next one, if you see, this is a picture of a frustum. The parts of a frustum, if I want to explain, first you must know what is the shape of the top and bottom of the frustum. The shape of top and bottom of a frustum are in circular shape. So, when it contains 2 circular shapes at the top and bottom, they contain 2 centers, obviously. So, the perpendicular line which we join from top center to the bottom center of the circle, it indicates height of the frustum. So, clearly you can see in the picture the line which is denoting the height, which the small letter H is written here. And you can also see slant height. Children, whenever we place a ladder to the wall, how the ladder is placed? It will be like a slant position. So similarly, here also we can call this L as slant height for the frustum. And here radius 1 is written, radius 2 is written. What is the reason? Because the main difference for radius 1 and radius 2 is, for the frustum we have a bigger circle at the top and we have a smaller circle at the bottom. That is the reason one radius is bigger, one radius is smaller. Now, when we discuss about the frustum, frustum is a part of a cone. From the cone, the frustum concept came into existence. Now, next image you see. Now, before seeing the prism, now all of you concentrate on the diagrams what I took here. Here, the first image is the reflection. For the reflection of lights, we will use this. Second is a chocolate. Third one is also a chocolate. Fourth one, I took a wooden box. Fifth picture, I took a pen stand. Now I will come from 5th picture, children. All of you concentrate on green color portion for the pen stand, what type of shape it contains. This is the shape of a triangle. Am I right? Now when the top is triangle, what about the bottom? Can you imagine? Can you visualize the picture? If you visualize the picture, the bottom of the pen stand is also in the shape of a triangle. Now what about the Kit Kat? If you see the Kit Kat chocolate, the shape of the top is in the shape of a trapezium. Now imagine what is the shape at the bottom. Bottom is also a trapezium. Similarly, if you take the wooden box, top is there in the form of a rectangle, bottom is also in the form of a rectangle. Now what did you understand from these pictures? If you see clearly, children, for the prism, the top and bottom will be congruent faces. Any solid object which contains top and bottom, both congruent faces, congruent polygons, they are called as prisms. Now observe the sides of the prism. If you see here, the side of the prism, which shape? For the pen stand you can see a rectangle. For this chocolate also we can see a rectangular side, and for the Kit Kat also you can see rectangular sides. It means that both top and bottom it contains congruent polygons, and where you come to the sides, any prism you take, it contains the rectangular shape. Now we will move to types of prism. Types of prism, simple logic I will say for you. The name of the prism will be given depending upon the base which it contains, children. Suppose if you take cube, cube is also a prism because it is called as a square prism. What is the reason? It contains top and base, both are in the shape of a square. If you take the cuboid, cuboid is also considered it as a prism because it contains top and bottom same base, congruent polygon, that is in the form of a rectangle. So the name is given as rectangular prism. Now come to the next one. The bottom row, if you see here, pentagonal prism. Why the name pentagonal prism is given here? Because pentagon indicates, penta indicates the 5. Pentagonal prism indicates that both top and base, bottom, it contains 5 edges, 5 line segments. It means that the polygon is a pentagon, both top and bottom. That is the reason the name is given as pentagonal prism. Suppose for example, let me ask you a question. If at all the top and bottom contains 6 sides, what type of prism we will call it as? 6 means hexagon we will say. So the name of the prism is given as hexagonal prism. 7 sides means septagonal prism. So depending upon the base of the prism, name of the prism is given. Now see the sides of the prism, children. I already said for you, if you take any prism, all the sides are in the form of rectangle shape. Now next one, very beautiful, no? So if you see immediately this picture, we will get into our mind pyramids, Egypt pyramids. They are very famous, we all know. So where we use these pyramids in our regular life? Few tents will take, some temples are built in the form of pyramids, some apartments are there, some cell towers, TV towers will be, satellite towers will be built in the form of a pyramid, some caution stands, pen stands also will be taken in the form of pyramids. But the only difference between the prism and pyramid, let me explain for you. For the prism, both top and base are congruent faces, whereas for the pyramid, it contains only one base. At the top, it contains one vertex. Same like prism, here pyramids also we are having types of pyramids. The name of the pyramids are given according to the base it contains. If the base is square, what pyramid will say? Square pyramid. If the base is triangle, triangular pyramid. If the base is rectangle, rectangular pyramid. If the base is octagon, what pyramid will say? Octagonal pyramid, hexagonal pyramid, septagonal pyramid. Like this, depending upon the base, will give the name of the pyramids. And here, I want everyone to concentrate on the slide, the sides of the pyramid. Now, each figure you observe, children, what is the side of the pyramids they contain? Which shape they are having? Triangle. For the prism, just you recall, for the prism, what are the sides we are having here? All the rectangular sides. But whereas for the pyramids, we are having triangular sides. So that is the difference between the prism and the pyramid. Now next concept is polyhedrons, which are really interesting. This concept helps for you for your mathematics fair, mathematics exhibitions, in order to exhibit, in order to show the polyhedrons. Very beautiful concept we can consider this as. Now polyhedrons, what do you mean by polyhedrons? Poly indicates the line segments which we use in the polygons. So here polyhedrons concept is any solid object you take, any solid object made up of polygons. which are made up of polygons, they are called as polyhedrons. Now if you see in the image, all these objects, they are made up of different polygons. Did you observe? Here first one, if you take, this is the pyramid example. It contains all triangles. And next one, if you take a cube, it contains all types of polygons. Similarly, any polyhedron you take, the solid object which is made up of all polygons, they are called as polyhedrons. So we will join all the types, all different polygons. It forms a solid object. Now see the next one. Are these polyhedrons? Now question to yourself. Before I shown you this image, polyhedrons image, they are having only polygons. Anything you take a tetrahedron, you take a cube, you take a octahedron, you take any image here, they are made up of polygons. Now you take this. Are these polygons, children? Just you question to yourself. If not, why they are not polygons? The reason is, these images are made up of curved lines. So any picture, any solid object which is made up of curved lines, they are not considered as polyhedrons. Now next, regular polyhedron, irregular polyhedron. In our previous classes, we already learned what is the meaning of regular polygon, irregular polygon. Regular means which contains all sides same length. Irregular means the length of the line segments a polygon have different. So you can see in the image, regular polyhedron if you take, here all the faces should be congruent. Same faces it should contain, same shape, same size. Then we say that that particular polyhedron is as regular polyhedron. Whereas irregular polyhedrons means, if you see the faces, clearly you can understand, children, different faces we are using. A polyhedron which is made up of different polygons, different shape, different sizes it contains. They are called as irregular polyhedron. So you can observe here the first 5 images, they are all are examples for regular polyhedrons. Whereas these 2 pictures under irregular polyhedrons, they are called as irregular polyhedrons because different faces they are using with different sizes. Now the next concept is concave and convex polyhedron. Before classes, what we are having related to this concept? Concave quadrilateral, convex quadrilateral. Same concept here also we are using, but instead of quadrilateral we are having polyhedrons. So what is the difference? From the pictures I will show you the difference so that you will understand clearly. See, in convex polyhedron, if you take any 2 vertices, when you join any 2 vertices, that line segment should lie on the polyhedron or on the edge of the polyhedron. Then we say that that particular polyhedron is called as convex polyhedron. Now observe orange color figure, children. I took 2 vertices. Now I joined these 2 vertices, but my line segment coming out of the polyhedron. Then we say that it is a concave polyhedron. This is the difference between the convex and concave. From the images also clearly you can understand. Now next one, very important topic, Euler's formula. Here Euler is a famous mathematician who brought the relationship between number of faces, number of vertices, number of edges for any polygon. This relation satisfies. That is, when you add number of faces and number of vertices, it should be equal to number of edges plus 2. Now let me see one example for you. Now if you see Euler's theorem here, f plus v is equal to e plus 2. I took a cuboid. Now just now we discussed, for the cuboid, number of faces are 6 faces. Side faces are 4, top is 1, bottom is 1. Total 6 faces. How many vertices? 8 vertices. Top 4, bottom 4. How many edges? 12 edges. Top, bottom, sides. 4 into 3, 12 edges. Now substitute f value, v value, e value in the Euler's relation. That is f plus v is equal to e plus 2. 6 plus 8 is equal to 12 plus 2, that is 14 is equal to 14. Now let us see one more example. Hexagonal prism. I said no, prism means top and bottom will be same. For this hexagonal prism, children, faces are 8. Here logic I will say, if you take any prism beta, top how many sides it contains, that many faces it contains at the sides. 6. Hexagon means 6. Lateral sides will be 6. And how we got 8 here? 6 means 2 more extra, no? That 2 are top is 1, bottom is 1. Total 8 faces, 12 vertices. How did we get 12 vertices here? Top 6, bottom 6. 18 edges. Top 6 edge, bottom 6 edge. 6 plus 6 it is 12. And lateral are 6. Total it is 18 edges. Now later after completing the class, you draw the picture, take from the YouTube and try yourself. Then you will understand once again. So here all the values you substitute. F plus V is equal to E plus 2. Now we got 20 is equal to 20. Here edges, children, when you are counting edges, we have to count side edges also. Lateral edges also we should count. Top 6, bottom 6, side 7, 8, 9, 10. Dotted lines also 2. Total 18. We got 20 is equal to 20. It means beta, whatever polyhedron you take, any polyhedron you take, Euler's relation will satisfy. F plus V is equal to E plus 2. Number of faces plus number of vertices should be equal to number of edges plus 2. It satisfies for any polyhedron. Now the last concept is views of any three-dimensional object. Any three-dimensional object you take, it contains certain views. They are top view, side view, front view. Our own human body you take beta. From the top, if you see, we will be appearing only our head. If you see from the front, our entire photograph will appear. If you see from the side, only the side portion will appear. Similarly, any three-dimensional object when you take, it contains the top view, side view as well as front view. For example, dice you take. Here I mentioned, see, top view, side view, front view. Similarly, any house if you take, any vehicle you take, any object from your surroundings if you consider, it contains all the three views, top view, front view and side view. So, what all the things we discussed today? Today we discussed about the two-dimensional concept, three-dimensional concept, cube and cuboid, cylinder and cone, sphere, frustum, polyhedrons, regular and irregular polyhedrons, and we also discussed about convex and concave polyhedrons, about the Euler's relationship, and also we discussed about the views of the three-dimensional objects. So, your task is, your project work is, identify any three-dimensional objects around you which we use in our daily life, draw their pictures and label them. The next one is verify Euler's formula for any 10 polyhedrons. Take any 10 polyhedrons, you prepare by using the polygons and verify the Euler's formula, that is number of faces plus number of vertices should be equal to number of edges plus 2. So, thank you children. Submit your work to your respective mathematics teachers in your school. Thank you so much.